Hello, good morning, welcome back. So today I thought I would do something a little different. Today is Friday, June 19th, it's Juneteenth today, and my work gave us all kind of like an unexpected day off. So my 3 teenage sons are all still sleeping, and I actually have like a quiet morning to get some knitting done. And so I thought I would just knit and kind of ramble on to you guys. So this will be like kind of like a sit and knit with me type of video. We'll see how that goes. I logged into YouTube the other day just to, you know, watch some knitting videos because I wanted to sit and knit. And I realized I have like 10 subscribers. I don't know how that happened or how they found me, but hi, 10 people who watch these videos now. No, it's just me. This is not a big production. It's just me. But I am very glad that you're here. If you hear some snuffling, Beckett is over here in my in the other couch, and he's very upset that I am not sitting with him so he can be in my lap. But knitting with an 80-pound lab pit bull mix is in your lap is not very. It's not very easy. So anyway, what's new with you guys? It's been a little crazy at work. My workflow tends to pick up with the weather, and so with the the sun coming out and the temperatures being in the high 80s here in Chicago, I've been super busy, which is good. I like to be busy. But I've been doing quite a bit of running around, and the house has not been getting the attention that it needs lately. So I think this weekend, while the kids are at their dad's, I'm gonna have to address some of the slack here. I got up this morning, and the boys stay up later than I do. They're teenagers and I'm old. So I came in here this morning and I just noticed there was like quite a few like orange like cheese puffs everywhere, and first of all I'm like, where did you get orange anything, because like that's not really the kind of thing we buy. And so it's kind of funny because only one of my I have twins and they're gonna be 17 soon, and only one of them drives, but that means all 3 of them are mobile. So I'm thinking somebody made a trip to 7-Eleven or something and got picked up some contraband snacks, which have then found their way into my living room. So that's great. Anyway, I'm gonna keep knitting on my coffee talk socks. I should knit this shawl. Is gonna be the death of me, you guys. I don't even know. So this is the Breathe and Hope shawl, which I started, I feel like, approximately 100 years ago. And this is just not, I'm so sick of this shawl. I'm so excited to be done with it because I'm actually excited to wear this one because there's parts of the pattern that are so cute, but it is taking forever. It is not very pleasant to knit. It takes like so much concentration, and like I have gotten thoroughly screwed up on the end here. So like when I try to do these vertical stripes, I'm always off. So I'm constantly self-correcting as I'm going along. I don't even know how many stitches are in the needles right now, and frankly, I just don't care. I just want to be done with it. I think I'm in section, where am I in this mess? I'm in section 8 out of 10. Did my floor robot just start? Okay guys, story time. So I inherited an iRobot from my brother who passed away. His whole house was connected to the Internet of Things. He had this floor robot, and it still has whatever programming that he put into it. So when I tried to connect it to my internet, and I'm not as savvy as he was, basically it just randomly like starts vacuuming my house without me having anything to do with it. So okay guys, The vacuum has been put to bed and I am back. So this shawl, which I just want to be done with. Okay, so I'm on section 8 out of 10 and yeah, it is just taking forever. I mean, look at this mess. Like I highlighted everything with the colors of the two different yarns I'm supposed to use. I have little, like, you know, those little boxes to check off for rows, and I'm still like messing this up. I don't know. I think it's because I'm just not like that into knitting it, and so I don't care enough to pay attention. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. I should be knitting on this. I'm almost done, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna work on my socks because, so I don't know how you guys feel about gifting knitting, but if I'm gonna gift a knitted item, I usually don't tell the person that I'm making it for them, because people who don't knit really underestimate the amount of time that it takes to knit something. And so, like, so for example, for all you, oh, I gotta get a new ball of yarn here. So this amount of knitting, if you can see, this is one episode of Homeland worth of knitting. And this is just ribbing. So this is like brainless, just go round and round and round and round. One episode of Homeland. And granted, Homeland is one of those shows, if you haven't watched it, it's kind of intense and you sort of have to pay attention. So I was probably knitting a little slower than usual, but still. Okay, it will take many more episodes of Homeland and watching Claire Danes ugly cry in order to finish this other sock. The other really stressful thing about this is that, so I reclaimed this purple yarn from something else, and I still have like a big mess of it. Something happened to this yarn many moons ago, and it is just like in a huge scary mess. And so I have been slowly unraveling it and making it into tiny balls of yarn that I've been using other things. But I think this might be it. So I'm hoping this is gonna be enough for the cuff and the color work and the toe of this. No, the toe, the heel, the cuff, and then there's a little tiny bit of color work at the toe as well. I'm hoping this is gonna be enough. So these socks, I usually do, well, not usually, but I have been lately doing socks with the magic loop method, even when I'm doing cuff down. But I always like to start the cuffs on double pointed needles just because it's a little easier for me. So I don't know, it's just a preference thing, and it's a little faster for me. I have been using those little tiny like Chigu needles for socks occasionally, but it is really difficult and you don't have anything to like brace your fingers on. You're just kind of like manipulating with the tips of your fingers. And I think I've probably mentioned this before, but I have lots of weird sensory issues. So there's just something about grabbing the metal with my fingertips that sort of bothers me after a while. Like I have weird sensory issues that like when I like touch things sometimes, like it'll like what's the word I'm looking for? It'll trigger my gag reflex. So like if I touch styrofoam sometimes, or like certain types of paper with my bare hands, like it'll make me feel like I'm gonna throw up, which is super weird, I know, but I don't know. It's just my brain has issues, I guess. I have been trying to get my patio garden working. It has been a challenge, as gardens usually are, right? You win some, you lose some. I was talking to my mom the other day about it, and she's like, yeah, she's like, things are gonna die, things are gonna get eaten. You know, you're gonna find yourself in a never-ending battle with bunny rabbits and other critters that wanna eat your food, and it's kind of crazy. But the last few days, the bunny rabbit has been getting up into, so I have a container garden on my deck right now. So the bunny has been getting up into the containers, and then there will be like a bunny butt-sized depression, like in the dirt in between my rows of beans and my herbs. And you could just see where she just like sat there and just very casually nibbled on my bean sprouts. And it's like, girl, why? It's hard to be mad though, because like it's kind of cute in the morning to see this like bunny like shaped depression in the dirt. Although last night, I don't know why she did this, but she got up in my tomato plants and she just dug. Like, I don't know, I'm kind of worried that she's pregnant and she's gonna nest in the yard again. The last time she did that, the dog got all the kits and I was really, really upset about it. So I'm hoping that if she decides to nest again, that she's not gonna nest in a container garden, that she at least goes under the deck or something like that where it's safe from the dog. But I don't know, we'll see. She doesn't seem to be the brightest crayon in the box, so. The bugs ate all of my sunflower seedlings. I actually bought pesticide this year, which I never, ever, ever do. But I tried putting cinnamon around them. I tried peppermint oil. I tried soap. I tried a bunch of different things and it wasn't working. So frankly, I just got ticked off and I went to Lowe's and I bought a bottle of some scary looking pesticide because I have just had it with whatever these bugs are that are killing my sunflowers. I started out with a seed packet of like 1,000 sunflower seeds thinking that that was gonna be more than enough, and I think out of that I probably have 30 seedlings that survived. It's not very much, guys. It's really, really sad. And so then I got smart and I was gonna start like a second round of seedlings in a tray in my screened-in porch. And I came in one morning and some bug had gone along and it looked like he had just gone along with a pair of scissors and just clip, 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 clip all the little baby leaves off, which is, I don't understand why. Like, why? I mean, if you had eaten the leaves, then at least they would have been used for something, but they weren't eaten, they were just clipped. I don't know. Some bug in my yard has a real issue with sunflower seedlings, I guess, and just beat them all up. So that's great. In a little while, I'm gonna have to wake up the boys and drive them up to their dad's for the weekend. It's Father's Day this weekend, so he has them. So the house will be pretty quiet. Oh my God, Beckett is just over here just heavy sighing. He is so upset that I'm not sitting by him. He's so upset that we're not snuggling and not OUT. That's the other thing. Normally, like if I'm just gonna sit, like if it's nice out like it is today, I'll sit outside, but I didn't want to deal with him running around and barking. He gets very excited when the neighbor dogs are out. They have a big German Shepherd and a tiny Pomeranian, and the tiny Pomeranian is a barker. So they come outside like making tons of noise. Beckett gets all excited, and then he like tries to jump, like not over the fence, but like the top part of the fence has lattice work on it. So he'll jump and then try to like peek through the lattice work. It's an ordeal, and I didn't feel like dealing with it. So I'm sitting inside in my big comfy chair. So, which is new, by the way. I'm pretty excited about this. I have had my parents' old living room set in here that I think they've had for, I mean, at least 20 years. It was old and it was pretty gross, but you know, it was just like mostly my teenage son's sitting in here, and teenage boys are kind of gross, so. But the couch was really, really, really uncomfortable, so I did finally like buy some furniture. I just got like cheap stuff from Wayfair because I know the boys will probably, you know, it's not gonna last forever, but it is hella comfortable and everything reclines, which makes me really happy. So, and it rocks. Normally when I'm knitting, I would do this, but I'm trying not to do that now because I have a feeling that might make some people seasick and I don't want that. So, anyway. I was watching a podcast the other day of a gal, and I'll link her below, and she was talking about how she knits while she walks. And she was like, she takes her dog for walks and she clips her dog to her belt and then she knits and walks. I was like, holy cow, how, first of all right, there's no way, when I'm walking my dog, I'm walking my dog. That is what we're doing, because my dog is like, he likes to stop and sniff everywhere. So like I have to be prepared for when he decides that we're gonna stop and, you know, sniff the place where 100 dogs have peed. And if I'm not paying attention, like he's gonna stop and then I will just get yanked back because he's very, very, very strong. And so first of all, I can't imagine doing anything when I'm walking him other than just focusing on walking him. But also, like, I can't imagine, I mean, I have a hard time just not tripping and falling when I'm walking normally. Like, I can't imagine if I was like looking down at my hands and like knitting and stuff. Like, how do you not fall and stab yourself? I have no idea. Clearly this woman is made of some kind of magic, because I don't know. She also, I really need to watch her latest podcast because she was working on the sweater design. It was so beautiful. It's a blue sweater. I'll put a picture in here so you can see it, but it was like this beautiful blue with these golden moon phases knit into it, and oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. I'm kind of tempted, that might be the next sweater that I do. I'm still deciding what sweater I want to cast on. I really want to do some simple color work, and I really kind of want to do a sweater in DK or sport weight yarn. Like I don't want to cast on a fingering weight sweater. I'll probably do that in the winter, but I just kind of want to just work on a sweater in some bigger yarn just to get a different kind of like, because I've been working in sock weight or fingering weight yarn for like everything else I'm doing right now. I just need something a little different. Again, sensory issues. I'm all about like the feeling of the yarn and, you know, all that good stuff. So man, I really want to order enough yarn for a sweater from Bente from Arctic Crafts. She has this colorway that's based on the mountain. So she lives in Norway, and I guess there's a mountain that she can see out of her windows. It's very close to where she lives, and so she has a colorway that's based on this mountain. It's really, really beautiful, and I think it would make an awesome sweater. So I'm thinking now, maybe since the world is sort of normalizing a little bit, then maybe I can order some stuff from overseas and it'll be okay. I did today, so this dress that I'm wearing is from an Etsy shop that I really like. It's a linen dress, and I've been saving my pennies to order some more dresses from this woman who makes them, and she takes your measurements and she makes the dresses to fit you, you know, which is, as I get older, I find that it's more and more worth it for me to spend like $130 on a dress that's made to my measurements and is made out of quality material and dyed in such a way that it's not gonna fade. Like something I'm gonna wear all the time and take care of, rather than like buying crap at Target, which I don't really do anymore. But anyway, so I've been saving my pennies so that I could buy a few dresses from her, so I only have to pay the shipping once because she is based in Ukraine. So we'll see how long it takes for me to get stuff from her shipped over. But I ordered, I think, 4 dresses so that I'm like good now, because I honestly wear this dress all the time. I have another linen dress that I bought from Saint de Fleur, which is another shop overseas. I can't remember where they're based. I want to say France, but I think that's wrong. I think it's Lithuania. But anyway, same thing, like they'll make dresses like, you know, with your measurements in mind, which is nice, but it's a lot more expensive than this gal. And if I remember, I'll link it below. I can't remember the name of her shop. It's something funny. It's like Cotton Candy Creations or something like that. Like it doesn't jive at all with like her aesthetic or like what she actually makes. But it's cool because she's got like all of these different kind of like classic dress designs, and she you know, you can choose, she's got all these different beautiful dyed linens that you can choose from. So you're basically like building your own dress. So like this one, I think I ordered it last year And I wanted to see how much I would wear it and how much I liked her clothes and how it held up before I bought more. So I've been wearing this for a year, and yeah, it was a special color that I requested. And yeah, it was a great experience ordering from her shop. I think, like, as I go forward with my clothes, like, I pretty much just want to order things from people who are making clothes, and I just want to wear stuff that fits. You know, I'm getting to that age where, like, my body's sort of settling into middle-aged lady. That's what I'm looking for. I have a middle-aged lady body at this point, and so I can't just, like, fit into clothes that I could when I was, like, you know, 130 pounds. And so it's more important now than ever that my clothes, like, fit and that I feel good in my clothes. So, you know, and I think that's a reason why a lot of people knit their own clothes too, because you can make adjustments as you go. And you can make sure that what you're knitting is gonna fit your body and make you feel good when you wear it. So I'm all about that. I used to sew a lot of my own clothes, and I've kind of moved away from that because I just don't enjoy the process like I do knitting. So I would much rather support, you know, a seamstress who does really enjoy it and is really good at it, rather than stress myself out. So every year I make batches and batches of sun tea, and I usually just mix, you know, some black and green teas and usually a fruit tea, and I throw a bunch of lemons or oranges or whatever citrus I have laying around. I just let it steep in the sun all day, and then you drink it. You can drink it hot, but I think it's better, you know, you throw it in the fridge, and then you know, or you pour it over ice if you're gonna make it a little stronger. But it's pretty good. This one is Tezo peach. I think it's peach tea. It's a black tea base with peach flavoring and then some mint, and then I threw some green tea bags in there too, just to beef it up. And I am drinking out of a mason jar, but it's not because I'm a hipster. So again, teenage boys, they break stuff. So actually, just kids in general break stuff. I break stuff, but they break a lot of stuff. So I haven't had real glasses probably, I don't know, they're gonna be 17, so it's probably been, you know, 17 years since I've had glasses, honestly. So what I do is when I buy jams or jellies or spaghetti sauce or anything like that, if I'm choosing between two brands, I'll choose the one that has a container that I can reuse for glasses. So I have tons of mason jar glasses, like really big chunky ones and smaller ones, and that's what we used to drink out of. So it's not like a hipster aesthetic statement. I mean, I like them, but I don't know why I needed to post that disclaimer, but I have been working on reading. I started the series called The Diviners, which is a little scarier than I thought it was gonna be. Like, it definitely, like, has some creepiness to it. So the first book in the series, and I did hear this about it, it kind of sets up all the rest of the books. There's a lot of, like, character backstory, and there's a lot of just, like, bringing together all of these different characters. So there's a lot of explaining, like, how they meet each other and stuff like that. But it's really good. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. I haven't, like, gotten into, like, a really good series in a while. I finished quite a few series over the last couple years, and it's been a while since I found one like this that I'm like, I just want to read every single book, like, as quickly as possible. So, and I've been watching The Last Alaskans, which it's a reality show, but it's a reality show that actually is, like, based in reality. Like, these folks that live up in the Arctic National Park in these cabins, like, they actually are just, I mean, the show is just them living there and like trying to, you know, survive, and they trap and hunt and fish, and it's really interesting, I think, to see the way these folks live. And it's really, I mean, the scenery is just beautiful as well. So if you want something on that's just like gorgeous scenery, and you learn a little bit about the way these folks live, which is pretty cool. But the thing that I really like about this show, and the thing I like about, I mean, they're not characters, they're real people, but they're very, there's no drama, and they're very, like, quiet. Other than that, I've just been working and trying to keep the house somewhat tidy. And yeah, daily stuff. I think one of my frustrations with, I'm gonna just keep harping on the stupid shawl, but I think one of my frustrations with it is that I do not have good tools right now for yarn management. I think I need to buy some different bags or something like that. So like, I really like yarn bowls for sock knitting. So I have a couple of these. And of course they don't travel well, so if you're going to take your knitting with you, this doesn't work as well. But you know, I have a few of these that sit around. They have my yarn in them. But I feel like for a bigger project, I really need to get, like, I hear other podcasters talking about like ball sacks. Chevyrell comes to mind. If you guys don't watch her, you should. She's absolutely hilarious. But she talks all the time about with her ball sacks that she uses for yarn management. So I might have to try something like that. I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to tools and stuff like that. Like, I try to just make do with what I have laying around. Like, I don't like buying extra crap. But when there's a tool that's really useful, you know, I'll buy it. Like, it took me forever to buy a Yarn Swift. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've been knitting for years and years and years, and I just bought a Yarn Swift this year. And the only reason I bought it was because I was doing so much knitting while we were all in quarantine, and I couldn't wind my yarn balls fast enough to keep up with how much I was knitting. And I really, really dislike yarn cakes. I just don't like the way they kind of like flop around. You know, I like traditional like yarn balls. So I hand wind all of my skeins of yarn. Or I was doing that. Like, I would take the skein and I would drape it over the back of a chair, and then I would put another chair next to it, and then I would pull it tight so that, you know, the skein wouldn't get tangled. And then I would just basically play musical chairs with myself and just walk around and around and around while I wound the ball. You can get a lot of steps on your Fitbit that way, I'll tell you that much. But if you're trying to do that, I mean, if you're getting through a lot of knitting like that, is a very time-consuming way. So anyway, I finally bought a Yarn Swift. It sits on my kitchen counter. It's usually installed there, but I actually had to take it down because the kids can't not spin it when they walk by, and I'm so afraid they're gonna break it. It is really satisfying to just give it a good spin when you walk by it, but I just have a feeling that something is gonna happen to it, and I don't want that. So I should probably see. I feel like I'm coming to the end of where I should be doing my ribbing. I'm not very good at counting rows. I just kind of knit until it feels right, and then I compare it to the other sock and see like how far off I am. I'm usually pretty close. I have a good sense for these things, luckily, so it's not ever terribly off, but I don't know. I'm always interested to see how other people knit. Like, I'm really fascinated by folks who knit. So I think I knit continental style. I think that's what this is called. I don't know, you guys have been watching me knit, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but The other style where you're doing most of the work with the left hand and you're kind of like flicking the needle, is it English style or whatever? That's like really fascinating, and I think it'd be so much faster to do ribbing, especially if that's your knitting method. But oh, look at that. It's like right on. I told you I have a sense about these things. Yeah, I kind of want to learn that method of knitting. I don't know. Do people like do more than one method of knitting? Like, are you able to do that, or do you just get like so set in your ways with the style that you were taught that like you can't change? I feel like it would be hard because so much of knitting is muscle memory after you've been knitting for so long. I just wonder, I don't know, I suppose it's just like learning how to knit, you know, with a different style of needles, or, you know, anything else. You just have to learn new muscle memory. But I might try to do that because it just seems like it's so much faster. Well, I've been knitting for about half an hour now, so I think I'm probably going to go wake up the kids and get that process started so that I can drive them up north, and then I'll probably come back home and do some tidying up. Try to fix what the bunny did to my tomato plant. I don't understand why she dug in there, but I'm gonna have to buy some more potting soil and fill it in now because she really made a mess. And I think that'll probably be my day. I probably won't post this today. I'll wait and post it next week. I think I'm trying to be more mindful of when I'm posting content, because I feel like right now my voice is not the one that needs to be heard. But I also, you know, want to continue to provide a place where, you know, people can come and take a break, you know, for those of us who are privileged enough to take a break. I think I said in my other video, I'm just so in it the rest of the time, and I'm not a person who like clearly I have privilege, but I am not in a position where I can ignore what's going on. Like, I can't just pretend like it's not happening. So it is nice to just do something with my hands for a while and talk about gardening and the household and normal things. I mean, not that they're normal. That's probably not the right word. Talk about day-to-day things for me in my life instead of just dealing with the weight of what's going on in the world right now. So yeah, I won't post any content today. I've been trying to be more mindful with Instagram as well. I haven't really been posting a lot of knitting content on Instagram. So I used Instagram quite a bit a few years ago, and I just feel like I've lost touch with how to interact with the platform. So I'm kind of relearning social media all over again. It took such a long break from everything, which I know a lot of people find really odd, but I mean, I don't know, I think because of the way that I grew up, you know, we had a computer pretty early, and we had technology, but we were raised kind of in an old school way, so I think I'm able to disconnect from technology and social media fairly easily. Like, it's not as ingrained in me as some other, I mean, technically I'm a millennial, but I'm like the oldest millennial. I don't know. Where am I going with that? I'm just rambling now. Thanks for stopping by and knitting with me for a little bit. I didn't get that far, but at least I'm done with the ribbing on my socks. So when I pick this up again, I will start on the color work and keep making progress. Maybe I'll make a fire tonight and I'll go sit by the fire and knit. I really enjoy knitting by firelight or by candlelight. It feels very, very cozy. I think I'll continue to do that while my eyesight is good. So anyway, I hope everyone is I'll probably post this over the weekend, so hopefully you're having a good weekend and getting some rest from your work week. And yeah, I hope you're staying healthy and staying strong. And talk to you next time. Bye for now.